Today we're going to be looking at a dynamic and flexible VFR planning tool, FSKneeboard from Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's great in 2D, but it's optimized for VR. You'll never get lost again with FSKneeboard in the cockpit. We're going to be putting this program through its paces and departing from Popham Airfield. This is a payware airfield available from Burning Blue Designs. We'll also be testing it out in Carenado's C170b, a little bit of retro magic. Welcome to the SimHanger, my name's Mark, and hey, let's get started. Available for both Xbox and PC versions, the C170b is a 1950s aircraft, and Carenado provided in two formats, standard gear and the one we're in today with the fat tackies. I've chosen this aircraft today because it has almost no navigation and no autopilot on board, and its current format certified only for VFR or visual flight rules. Burning Blue Designs have a reputation for producing the smaller out-of-the-way airports in the UK, and these airports are characterized by minute attention to detail and high levels of accuracy. And Mike Morgan, the developer of the scenery, certainly has not disappointed on this occasion. But I've also chosen Popham for another reason, and that is it's privately owned and you won't find it on Sky Vector, etc. So it's perfect for demonstrating the versatility of FSKneeboard. There'll be links to all reference items in the notes below. There are two versions of FSKneeboard, a free limited version and the pro version, which has all the features that I'll be showing today. So the developer is offering you a try before you buy opportunity. Both versions offer moving maps, but only the Pro version has waypoints, a charts viewer and notes. The developer has also taken somewhat of a novel approach to the price that you pay for FSKneeboard. The recommended price is just under €25 or $25 but you get the opportunity to pick your price point. Anything from $15 up to $50. The benefit of FSKneeboard lies in two areas in my opinion. One, you get maps in your VR cockpit, and secondly, and most importantly for me, you can dynamically change your flight plan as you go. On the fly, as it were. And for visual flying, makes it so much easier to find out where the hell am I? We'll run through the features of FSKneeboard in 2D as it's easier for you, the viewer. Then go for a flight in VR. We don't need any modern navigational instruments, so we'll turn those off and we're just left with one nav gauge. And we won't be using that either today. You start FSKneeboard by running a program in the background and you leave the window open. But it doesn't need to be visible. You access FSKneeboard features through the traditional toolbar at the top. Click on the panel and FSKneeboard opens up, and you're presented with the map view. You can move and resize the panel to whatever you prefer, the only limitations being the size of your screen. This is very handy for initial flight planning. Using the scroll wheel on your mouse you can zoom in and out, and you can see it's picked us up here at Popham Airfield. The world map icon on the top left is highlighted so you know you're in map view. The icon next to that is charts. Let's take a quick look. FSKneeboard has a dedicated folder for all charts, and you're required to manually add all of these, and they must currently be in .png format in order to display correctly. The developer tells me he's working on expanding this, but that's not the case at the time of this video. You can pan, scroll, zoom in and out on the documents as demonstrated. There's also an option to import files from this window. Whilst this is a manual process, it does mean you can collect all the various gauges and images required for your particular VFR flight. The next icon on the top left is your notes, and here you can just write basic messages, transponder codes, that type of thing, and you write using your mouse. It's simple and basic, but will allow you to remember some ATC instructions if required. Let's go back to the map view, and you'll see there's a number of icons in the bottom left hand side. And the one with the download icon allows you to import any flight plan currently loaded in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So in this case, I had a basic flight plan already put in, and I'm able to import that directly and show it on this map. But I'm not going to be using this flight plan today, so I'm going to click on the trash can icon and I'm going to remove the various waypoints by simply clicking on the marker icons. There, flight plan's gone. You could of course just use this feature to modify an existing flight plan and waypoints. I'm scrolling and zooming around on the map. I got myself a little bit lost, so in the bottom right hand corner, click on that icon and it centers your view once again. Now back to the bottom left and let's click on the marker icon, and we're now ready to do a plan. And it's just a simple case of having a look on the map, deciding where you want to fly, and then right clicking and placing a marker. I think we'll fly over here. I'll click that, and once a marker is placed, you'll see that there is a distance and heading information automatically provided. That's my first waypoint picked out. Let me now pick another one. There's an airport here. I think I'll just zoom in and I can just place another marker here on the runway. And that's a simple VFR flight plan complete. You can have as many markers as you want. And again, there's a label showing me that that leg is 2.2 miles and the total distance is 7.7 miles. And that leg is on a heading of 209 degrees. I can then now, or whilst I'm flying, change my mind. I've decided not to go to Barton Airstrip. I'm going to instead go to this airport just next to it, Chilbourne. And I'm going to delete the second marker I put on by using the trash can icon and clicking on the marker. And that's my modified flight plan. Simple and easy. If you fancy something a little bit more adventurous, well, no problem. You can just go ahead and add in as much as you want. As simple or as complicated as you require. For visual flying, this is just perfect. And as shown earlier, I can modify, change and delete to suit. You'll see on the top right there's a wind and wind speed indicator. I can turn this on and off by clicking on this icon here. Very handy to have it displayed when doing VFR flights so you can determine what is the best runway for your final approach and landing. You have the option to turn on or off your aircraft icon or change it to that of a helicopter to suit whatever you may be flying that particular day. You'll see a set of icons along the top right hand side. These will let you change the brightness of the map. There's also a night mode, the map goes red, and there's a variety of different map options available to you. The one we're looking at right now is OpenStreetMap. The last feature I want to demonstrate is by clicking this icon here, you can teleport to wherever you want to be. Currently at Chilbourne, I want to go back to Popham, so I right click here and click teleport here. And I'm there. Just a note on this feature that sometimes it can drop you from height, so you better have damage model off. And sometimes the accuracy is a little bit iffy in relation to the map of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But nonetheless, it's a nice feature to have. I'm back at Popham, but not facing the right way. Anyway, time now to jump into VR and let's give it a go. We're lined up, runway 26, just bring up the toolbar menu and let's go for the FSKneeboard panel. There it is. I'm just going to bring that in a little bit closer so we can see it. So the panel is quite easily movable, and let's see if we can resize it. Yes, we can. That's good. Just going to make it a slightly bigger size for our initial flight planning. I'll just initially zoom in and then we'll start to place our markers for our flight plan. Remember, this is a visual flight plan. It won't transfer to the GPS or other nav instruments. This is purely for visual flight rules. I've set up my first marker at the airport, and that's where we were before. I'm going to mark there, fly over that, and then going to head down to our airport, Chilbolton, and we'll take that as our flight plan for now. And the label showing us 7.7 miles. Just check we can see our documents, which we can. And I must say that within the VR headset, the documents come out very clearly indeed, as does the map, to be fair. I am using a Reverb Pro headset today. I can manipulate and move the charts around as well as zoom in and out, that's fine. And let's now quickly just go and check if the notepad is working in VR. Yep, that seems fine, no major problem there. I do find it awkward writing with the mouse. Whilst in the map view, if you click on one of the markers, it will bring up the relevant label, giving you both bearing and distance to that particular marker. Here it's saying 5.5 miles to that first marker on a bearing of 241 degrees. I don't want the map too cluttered, so I'm going to get rid of all the labels. And now I'm getting ready for departure, so the map's a little bit too large, so we'll just resize that. And initially for takeoff, I'm just going to put it at the front of the cockpit, just to keep it visual. This is a moving map, of course. Now hang on a minute, I've still got the GPS there, I don't need that for this flight. I've got FSKneeboard, that's that out the way, and I'm just going to plonk it there for now. Once we're up and away, we'll move it to the side. To move it, you right click, hold the mouse button down and then move the panel. Let's get rid of the toolbar menu, we don't need that now. I've got it configured to a button on my yoke. Time to get going, just check that everything's clear, everything looks alright. I'm pushing the throttle forward, and after takeoff we want to make sure we're staying to the left of the granary silos. Rotating at 60 knots, flaps are 1 notch down. Wind indicator is saying we're heading directly into the wind, which is perfect for takeoff. That's a main highway or motorway running parallel to the runway. There's the granary silos and we're to the left, that's good, and we can now start turning and heading on our route. Coming back on the throttle so I don't overstress the engine. Goodbye Popham, it's been a pleasure. This is only a very short route and we won't want to climb very high today. Around about 1,000 feet should do us nicely. This map's not in a very practical place, obscuring the instruments, so let's just move that to the side. I think over there will do. I've changed my mind, I don't think we'll go to that airport, we'll go to this one right here. So I've placed the marker, now the bin icon, I'll get rid of the original marker, and I now have a new route to follow. I do enjoy how simple, quick and easy it is to make changes. If you do have the labels up on the map, note that the distance and the bearing will change as your position varies. This allows you to make small adjustments on a regular basis to keep yourself bang on course. The sounds on this aircraft have been reproduced very well indeed. If you think it sounds a bit like an old tractor, well, that's what it was like in the real world. Our visual flight plan has brought us safely to our planned destination. That's the runway in front of us, and now commencing final approach. Second stage of flaps coming in. I'm a little bit low and slow, so just going to increase throttle a little bit so I can maintain my altitude. The Cessna 170 can cruise at about 120 miles an hour, but it has a stall speed fairly high at about 52 miles an hour. So I don't want to get much slower than 60 on final approach. So am I going to demonstrate a textbook landing? Oh, bounce. Oh, that'll be a no then. But we're down in one piece, safe and sound. Welcome to Chilbolton Airfield. Well, I've just planned a return route back to Popham, so I'll leave you there with my final thoughts and comments. FSKneeboard is limited in terms of what it does, but what it does do, it does it very well indeed. It works great in 2D or in VR, and for VFR allows you to dynamically change the flight plan as and when needed. It doesn't have the automated features that SimHanger does. I'll leave a link to that video in the notes below. But this is largely a different product designed for different use. Only takes a few minutes to understand and use it really effectively. And the developer continues to develop it on a very regular basis. So I'm sure there's more to come. For my VFR VR flights, it's certainly something I'll be using frequently. Check out their website. Again, links in the notes below for more details. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you found this useful and informative. I'll see you again soon. Look after yourselves. Bye for now.